Green Lantern Corps number 22, written by Robert Venditti and Van Jensen, art by Bernard Chang. So last issue, we found out that the Durlans are around as a threat, so that's just going to be a thing. And we got a whole bunch of super rookie Green Lantern Corps members showing up here. So we open up on the homeworld of the Star Sapphires, and they're saying their thing, trying to charge up their ring. And all of a sudden, something goes wrong, and the ring doesn't charge, and the light from the central power battery starts fading away. And they're like, crap, okay, this isn't good. Something's going on. And the lead, Star Sapphire, is like, yeah, we haven't had our entity, the Predator, for a while, and as such, we kind of need a boost. So as long as we can't find our entity, Star Sapphires are doomed, and the ring just turns to dust. So, cut over to Oa, where all the rookies are kind of cleaning up after the attack from Larfleeze in the Green Lantern book. And John Stewart arrives, and he's like, what in the hell happened here? It's like, it was Larfleeze, whole thing, don't worry about it. And he's talking to Natu Soranik, and we see the new rookies. Two of them get focus here. One of them is apparently comes from a race of people who just talk all the time. That's their thing. They talk. And this specific one is a mute. He can't speak. And Stewart's like, are you kidding me? That's pretty damn worthless. And Soranik's like, don't be mean. He's literally standing right here. And the other one we get is Druk, who is the gladiator guy we saw before. And as they are trying to clean up this stuff, Druk always speaks in the third person and is getting angry that people are, messing with him and are around him. So as they're about to lose control of some wreckage, Stewart steps in and he's like, all right, rule number 1, stop fighting each other. You got to protect the universe. Try not to attack each other. Rule 2, use your brains. The rings act off of imagination. And rule 3, when you're making something, you have to picture every detail. It's very specific like that. And also, our rings are run on willpower. So if you can think it, you can make it. Just really focus on it. So he takes care of everything that would have taken them weeks in just a few seconds. And says all right, Soranik, can you tell me where Salak is? I need to talk to him about what I saw out there. And Soranik's like, yeah, I can tell you where he is, but he's not the one who's running things now. It's Hal. And he's just like, what do you mean, Hal? What? So he goes off and talks to Salak, who is currently investigating a Manhunter corpse because he's just really, really suspicious of anything that Guardians touched. And so when he arrives, Salak explains the situation more, just like, yeah, no, Hal's in charge, and I put, what's his name? It always bothers me. Kilowog in the position I previously held. And so he's like, okay, well, do you know what happened with the rings malfunctioning when I was out there? And it's like, yeah, that happened here on planet, which means it had nothing to do with either of our individual things if it affected everybody no matter where they were. So that's confusing. And so Stewart flies off to find Kilowog, but Salak starts staring at his ring. He's like, we can't trust anything that the Guardians have touched, can we? So he goes to talk to Kilowog, and he basically says hey, yeah, we ran into some shapeshifters out in space. Ring said it couldn't identify them, but I was wondering if you had any idea what was going on here and also why my ring died out, and just be like, yeah, no, it was definitely something bigger. We're still looking into it. No idea. By the way, Hal's in charge. He's like, yeah, I heard. I need to go talk to Guy. I think that it's very important that I do that. And all of a sudden they get an alert in, and there's some earthquake going on that's going to rupture a dam that's going to boil everyone downstream of it because it's a boiling sea. And John's like, yeah, no, I'm busy. I got to get back to Fatality, but send Guy to go do it. And Kilowog's like, Guy left. Over in the Red Lanterns book, Guy quit the Corps, and Hal just says, he's being very secretive about it, but Guy just apparently quit. And John's like, there's no way he would have quit. And Kilowog's like, after everything the Guardians did, it's not that surprising that people quit. It's not. So at that point, John's like, okay, fine, look, I'll take care of it. And Kilowog says, great, take the rookies, they'll help you out. And John's like, ugh. So at that point, we see Fatality, who has followed the Durlans to a planet and manages to pick up like, oh yes, they are the Durlans, and they're trying to make a galactic empire and whatnot. So obviously a big threat. Then John comes up behind her and is just like, hey baby, what's up? And Fatality's like, John, I'm spying here. Like, come on, get down. And she explains everything that she just heard, and John's like, oh, well, they probably are like a super threat. And Fatality's like, yeah, but we could take care of them. There's only like 6 of them here. And John's like, well, I don't know about that. They're shapeshifters. You don't even know if like one of them is already here. And then Fatality just stabs John through the back with her spear. And he's just like, oh my God, why would you do that? So cut back to clearly, obviously real John flying the rookies out into deep space using a subspace tunnel. And they're just like the kids asking tons of questions. They're like, where are we going? How are we traveling so fast? How do we breathe in space? Why can we understand everybody's talking? And John just answers all the questions one by one. He's like, okay, no more questions now. Let's focus on fixing this dam. So he tells them how to focus, like focus on like heat or a laser, and the rings will make it, and it'll cure up the dam. But then all of a sudden their rings fail again. And all the rookies start falling out of the sky. But John has just enough power left to be able to grab them and gently lower them down to the ground. But because of their inability to fix the dam, it starts to crack open and starts rupturing. Everyone downstairs is like, oh, the lanterns have failed again. How dare they? But then all of a sudden, this giant ship shows up and just fixes the dam. It just heals it. And John recognizes the ship as the Kund Empire, who then like come out of their ship as a little party and say, hey, lanterns, you suck. We don't want you here. This planet's run by the Kund now. These people are cool with it. Isn't that right, people? And they're like, yeah, that's right. Lanterns, you suck. And John's like, okay, well, here's the thing. We were just responding to an SOS. Sorry that we tried to help. And he's like, yeah, you better be. So at that point, we see Fatality has killed one of the Durlans, who was obviously impersonating John. She recognized it because John never says, hey, baby. So then the other Durlans show up and are ready to attack Fatality. And she's like, bring it. I'll kill all of you with my magic ring. And then the ring fails, and they attack Fatality and pretty easily take her out. So cut back to the planet that the Green Lanterns were saving. And the Kund are coming in. They're about to attack the Lanterns. Druk he's got a battle axe, so he's ready to attack even without his ring. Steward steals it and ruptures a pipeline, which causes like 5 of the guys to get attacked. And Druk's like, not bad, 5 in one swing. Druk approves. And he's like, yeah, okay, we got to get off planet. Like, we got to go away from this fight now. And so he picks up the older rookie who's just given up. He's just laying there like, oh, I'm not going anywhere. Just let me die. And Lantern's like, all right, rule number 4, no lanterns left behind. So he fireman carries the guy out as Druk goes full gladiator and just starts leaping from all the Kund's hovercrafts to start attacking each other. And he's doing a good job at knocking them all out. But sooner or later, Druk gets hit with a capturing device that latches onto his chest, as do all of the other lanterns. And the Kund come down and be like, we've captured the lanterns. And he's like, oh, good. Now they will not interfere with our planet anymore. And the Kund are like, oh, no, you don't understand. We're going to make an example of them. We're going to kill these lanterns. And it's a good thing their rings aren't working right now, because we can just take them off their fingers. And so now the Green Lantern Corps is without their rings. Final page, we cut to a planet of bugs that, I'm just going to read these speech bubbles. I can't wait to fill your thorax with larvae. And I can't wait to devour your head to feed our young. And we see this horrifying looking thing coming out of the bushes. It's the Star Sapphire's entity of the Predator. And just like, oh my God, I'm so hungry. And Predator's interrupted by a different entity, seemingly the entity of the White Lantern Ring. And just like, hey, look, Predator, if you want to consume their love to, fulfill your hunger, by all means, go for it. But you're still going to be hungry. We're sick. We're dying. We need to find all the other entities, gather them up, and then go visit the White Lantern. That's what we got to do. So we see Predator and the White Lantern entity, which I think is just called Entity, flying off into space. And that's the issue. So it's good. It's solid. Personally, I've always been really interested in the entities. Having not read the early Jeff Johns run, I am completely unsure as to what any of them are, but I am happy that we're getting them now. So looking forward to that. As for the rookie stuff, it's fine. I think that it's kind of playing with some played out stuff right now of like, oh, you guys are going to have to learn to work as a team and Green Lanterns and whatnot. We'll see how it goes. I'm much more interested in the entities and the Durlin stuff, which seems to be the core focus anyway. So the sooner we get to that, the better. All in all, I'll give this one I'll give it a 6.5. It just feels like it's missing a little something. But it is kind of just an interstitial issue of getting John back into the main universe of like, here's everything going on with the Green Lantern Corps. Okay, cool. Now we can continue. So we'll see what happens next issue with that. But 6.5 for this.